County Board of Commissioners, meeting today at the regular meeting, Madison County Health Department, 804 North Parkway, Monday, March 17th, 8:30. Commissioner Wall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today we have Pastor Bill Schultz who's come to us today to lead us in our invocation and pledge. Everybody please stand with me. Pastor Schultz has founded Hungry Hearts Ministries in 2002. He's also founded 3 churches in Tennessee and 1 in Mississippi. He's authored 13 books and publishes Pursuit Magazine, which is a monthly magazine, and being ordained as a deacon, elder, and pastor. He's conducted services for Christ for over 23 years here in Jackson, Tennessee. Pastor Schultz.
Thank you, everybody. If you want to bow your heads. Lord Jesus Christ, we're just so grateful that you have given us the choicest part of the state of Tennessee in which to live. Lord Jesus, I just want to thank you for these great men and women who are the deliberative body for this county and the administrative people for this county. And I ask that you would bless them and that you would anoint them with wisdom and discernment and understanding to be able to make the decisions that will carry this county. Lord, I just ask that you would anoint and ordain all of the administrative people to be able to make wise, discerning decisions. Lord, I'm just asking right now that you would pour a spirit of love and cooperation in this room so that everybody can work together, have the spirited debates, but come together at the end. Lord Jesus, I'm just asking that from this meeting today, you would open up a revival of civic duty, responsibility, and citizenship in Madison County, Tennessee, that would spread all across this country. Lord, I thank you for these people. I lift these people up to you and ask that you bless them in every possible way. We just ask it all in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mr. Arthur? Commissioner Brown?
All right, where's
We got you. 21 present, 4 absent. Without objection, we'll approve the minutes from last month by unanimous consent. Is there any public comments today? Anybody? There's no announcements from the chair today. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir. I've got a few today. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Don't pinch me. I am wearing green. I won't pull off my jacket, but when I was part of the when I was part of the school board, we visited JCM after they opened, and each student was assigned a house. And we got to go through that process, and I was assigned to, I forgot the name of the house, but it was green. So they threw all this green stuff all over. I have a big green paint swatch on the back of this shirt. So that's my green paint right here. But I'm going to start off today. I've invited West Tennessee River Basin Authority, David Blackwood, and Paige Keith, if y'all will make your way up. You have in front of you their annual report from last year. West Tennessee River Basin Authority serves West Tennessee. It's a very unique role formed by the state of Tennessee to make sure that I'll let them tell you kind of what they do day to day, but I have the privilege of serving as the chairman of the West Tennessee River Basin Authority Board, and y'all please welcome David Blackwood.
Hey, Mayor, thanks for having me up. You guys should have these handouts at each one of your seats there. And if you're a resident of Madison County, you're a member of the West Tennessee River Basin Authority. We're a state agency, and a lot of you may be real familiar with what we do. Some of you might not be, so I'm just going to go through a little bit of that. But our big job is to keep our rivers open. I don't know if everybody knows, Madison County has 3 rivers that touch it. Hatchie, South Fork Fork Deer, and the Middle Fork Fork Deer. And we have amphibious equipment that can go down the center of these rivers and take out blockages and log jams and things that keep us from flooding. We've been doing that for a long time. Just to let you know what happens if we don't do that, in 1987 I found an article and the Middle Fork Fork Deer River was blocked up for 17,000 feet. That's almost 3 miles. With logs, debris, and tops, just because of how our rivers work and how our geology is. So it's really important work. We keep those open and flowing. We also have flood control lakes. We've got about 108 lakes in West Tennessee. 24 of those lakes are here in Madison County. So, you know, you can't show what didn't happen, but if you hadn't flooded recently, it might be because of one of those lakes. We keep those up and running. We also help manage beaver damage management on roads. When they start flooding roads, we have a program where we help get those trapped out of there. And we offer technical assistance for anything kind of watershed related, flooding, looking at where you're having erosion problems, bank failures, things that just plague us in our sand type geology. We've got 23 employees. 6 of those employees are Madison County residents, including myself. So I'm really excited to be here talking to you all today. And I just want to tell you about some of the special projects. You know, I mentioned if you're a resident of Madison County, you're a member. Madison County pays a membership fee. That membership fee is about $86,000 a year. It's based on ad valorem tax value, population. But I also want to tell you what you're getting for your money. Within the last decade, we've done special projects, gotten grants, done flood improvements, and we've spent somewhere between $30 to $50 million in this community working on flood improvements. If you've seen behind like Community Montessori School, when we redid that big ditch down there, and behind Muse Park, working on some stuff downtown. We've got a Central Creek project. Y'all are familiar with how the area looks behind the lift. That type of profile, we're going to be starting at the roundabout and going up towards JCM with a project to improve that and improve some flooding. I've spoken here before about the Middle Fork Bottoms, which is our newest state park. That's out on Sanders Bluff Road. And we got tremendous flood benefits from the way we did that park and opening up the floodplain. And we're right now in a study phase where we're looking at doing something similar on the South Fork Fork Deer through Jackson, between the Bemis community and downtown, and getting the Greenway connected. See what else here, make sure I hit all the things I wanted to tell you about. Those of you who remember the 2010 floods, we were a big part of recovery on that. And we've also been talking with the Blue Ways Tennessee group, who has some money allocated from the governor to work on access to rivers and you know, kayak trails and fishing and things like that. They've identified the South Fork Fork Deer as an area of interest. So we're going to be able to bring some of that in and improve that area. And when we do those improvements, we'll get a lot of flood benefit for the downtown South Jackson community and for Bemis heading north to the river, that whole area in there. We can really make a big difference in floods. So thank you all again for the support you give us. Read through here and see the cool things we're doing. And if you think of other cool things we ought to be doing, give us a call and let us know. We're always here to help you. And
David, will you tell me about the wet center at Lone Oaks?
yes. Yeah, so this is a especially appropriate time because we've had a lot of rains, a lot of floods, a lot of tornadoes over the weekend, and we cover a 20-county area in West Tennessee, everything but Shelby. So if you're Tennessee River to the west, that's our territory. And we have a lot of struggles with rural infrastructure and our soils and bank failures and maintenance. So over the years, we kind of collected what that impact is and how we could best address it. We did a feasibility study around COVID, and we got money from the governor's office to build a brand-new facility. It's unique nationally. It's about a $30 million investment, and it's essentially a giant sandbox that's about 1.5 acres, and we have huge flood pumps, and we can turn on a big flood. So we can get out there and build a road, build a culvert, build a levee, and then we can flood it, and we can watch it fail, and we can put it in a way that doesn't fail, and we can start talking to all these different groups of people about how we manage our stormwater infrastructure, how we manage our water, how rains happen, how floods happen, and start getting that knowledge out there and common knowledge, because there's, I've been practicing for 15, 16 years, and there's still things I see and go, oh, that's how that works, so hands-on is always really good. And there'll be opportunities for public officials to come in and learn about flooding, because you may get elected to a commission and your background's probably not in hydrology and watershed management and emergency management. We're gonna have courses for emergency responders. We can generate swift water. When I talk about swift water, our pumps can move 100,000 gallons a minute. That's a lot of water, and it can move really quick. So we can train a lot of people in some really cool stuff. And it'll also be a place we can put engineers and scientists on equipment, so the things they're designing they've built before, which is really handy if you're in the construction industry, that's a good thing. And it's at a facility, it's at the Lone Oaks Farm in Hardeman County, where they have about 8,000 to 10,000 kids come through a year, that they're gonna get to see all these job opportunities and all these concepts, that if you learn them early on, you understand how things work, and it just kind of sets the tone for opportunities that are available and the types of jobs you can get out and be interested in. Yes, ma'am.
What are you doing to address the bank failures and erosions and fears for my constituents in the Bay Meadows area?
So, we have a project, the Bay Meadows community, there's a piece of land behind there that we actually own that property, and we were doing a stream restoration, so that stream that's a big problem for that community will be relocated away from their backyards. And that's a project within the next 2 years, I believe.
So when would you go to visit the area for the Bay Meadows, for my residents, my constituents in the Bay Meadows area? When would you go this week to look at the major problem that they're having?
This week,
Do you know what day?
I
So
don't.
I can tell my constituents?
I don't, but I can talk with you afterwards. We have a gentleman who's in charge of those inspections, and I told him about our issue Friday. And I would like to talk with you about getting a meeting with the residents to kind of communicate that project and
I would be
get that
delighted.
one rolling. Yeah, let's do that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
In the past, it appears that along airways and the bypass, there's a lot of sand built up there in past years, but evidently it was flooding we had some bad flooding a number of times, but evidently you relieved all of that. You got that problem solved.
Flooding ain't ever solved. We just fight it.
Okay.
But
It's a lot better than it used to
it's
be.
a lot improved. Thank you, sir.
Well, David, thank you. I just wanted y'all to hear, once I got this report in hand, the tremendous importance that he and his department do. It's one of those deals, I think you kind of alluded to it. If you never know he exists, then that means he's doing his job well. That this flood waters aren't coming in your back door, they're not taking out roads. And I want you to think about the scale of efforts that he and his team take on throughout West Tennessee. We just talked about a few issues here in Madison County. That's throughout West Tennessee. And think about Norfolk Bottoms. That whole area flooded, was it 2011, somewhere around there? It was impassable. You couldn't get the freeway up 45. Now that really is probably never gonna happen again because of the mitigation efforts that West Tennessee River Basin Authority took on. So I want you to see this. I want you to know that where our money is being invested and continue that as we go forward. But I appreciate Dave and his team, and if y'all need him, he'll be here for a few minutes. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you. Also, Ms. Kim Tepper, come on up here. You've been up here a few times in the past. You got to be Miss COVID. as she makes her way up here. Ms. Kim is retiring. And she's got about, 3 more weeks left with us, I think? About, you know exactly. So, yeah, you know exactly. So she has asked that we don't have a big party and a big to-do for her. So in lieu of that, I want all of you to send her flowers this week, or cookies, or cupcakes, or come see her, and we'll make a big deal about it. But I just want to say I appreciate you. You were a pillar. I joked. I said if we had a Madison County Mount Rushmore, I think Kim Tedford may be on Mount Rushmore. But thank you. Let's give her a round of applause and thank her for her service.
You're too young to retire.
No, I'm not. Just keep saying that. I've been here with the health department for 32 years. And let me just say, the last 10 have been
32 years.
32 years, all wrapped up. But I want to thank previous Mayor Harris and Dr. Tony Emerson for believing in me to do this job. I've been the director here since 2014, and I've enjoyed working with each and every one of you, and I'm ready to go have some fun. Thank you.
I've been working close with Tennessee Department of Health Commissioner Alvarado to name our replacement, and Ms. Shanna Wilbanks will be our new Jackson-Madison County Regional Health Department Director, starting when Kim retires, so she's had plenty of time. Shanna would be here. Shanna lost her dad this morning, so obviously I wasn't even going to let her be here if she wanted to be. But y'all keep her in your prayers, her and her family in your prayers. They're going through it right now. Shanna has been with the health department since 2003 and worked with West Tennessee Healthcare previous to that. Talked to everybody that I knew that might have an opinion about this position, and they've all been shining reviews for Ms. Shanna, and I'm very excited to have her in that role. She's going to do an excellent job. She's got lots of institutional knowledge, and she was the epidemiologist, so infectious disease person the past several years. So if we ever have, God forbid, another issue like COVID, that's the person that's going to know what to do and how to handle it. So I want to say that. Just another couple updates. I was able to visit Nashville this week. Spent a couple days at the Capitol with our legislators and also some surrounding county legislators, and let them know primarily about our House and Senate bill for trying to ask for half of the real estate transfer tax to remain in Madison County. That's about a $1.4 million swing every year on average that we would see. What that does, we're very fortunate in Madison County to have a large sales tax revenue, and so we don't feel the pinch so much when economics kind of get a little dicey. Some of these other counties don't have the option to lean on their sales taxes, and so they don't have any index growth. So their sales taxes or their property taxes are what they are, and year over year, that's what they are. Reassessments, we know they can increase. But these other counties, to raise revenue, they have to increase taxes, and that's obviously a difficult thing to do. So we're asking for the real estate transfer tax, half of that tax. It's not a new tax. We're not increasing it. It's already being paid. Right now, it remains at the state. We're asking for half of that money to remain in Madison County. That way, as property values go up and as sales increase in our area, we will see increased revenue from that. So I was able to advocate for that. I believe I have all 3 of our legislators on board for that. It's got 2 strong sponsors in the House and the Senate on the state level, so we're very optimistic that we're going to get that. So we're working on that as well as some other things. And then finally, I need to inform the group and the community. We're applying for a community corrections grant to have the felony issues come back in the county. Dr. Lake is here. She's helping us with that grant process. And I've done my duty, Dr. Lake. I've informed the community that we're applying for that grant. So that's part of the grant process. So any questions for me? I'll have more to say on some upcoming voting issues. But any other questions for me?
You got Dr. Lake handling it, it's in good hands.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, I appreciate you, Dr. Lake. I want to say that publicly. We were blowing and going, and then she jumped on, and it just got like, cooking with gas. So we're going on. I appreciate Deputy Mayor Smith taking the lead on that as well. Community corrections is in good hands. Any other questions? Well, thank y'all.
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration and possible acceptance of the Pope School Off-Site Improvements Agreement with the City of Jackson and Jackson-Madison County School System. First off, I want to say is all 3 entities didn't get everything they wanted, but this is a win for the entire community. And I want to thank Mayor Conger of the city, Mayor Massey, for all their work on this. And I think this was a committee recommendation. Carl, would you like to, didn't it go before the budget?
Yes.
Would you like to introduce it?
Wasn't prepared for this, I'm sorry.
Well, that's fine. I mean, we can have Jay talk if you
Okay,
like.
if you
Jay,
don't
would
mind.
you like just to give a brief overview of what's going on? There's copies on your desk.
Everyone should have received a copy of the agreement in your agenda packet, but in a nutshell, what this does is it's a development agreement between the county and the city of Jackson regarding the off-site improvements at Pope School that are going to be required by the city of Jackson BZA. The 2017 sales tax agreement between the county, city, and school system, as y'all will recall, that extended that payment from the city through 2027 will act as security for this agreement. So if the county performs the off-site improvements and they're accepted by the city, that agreement, that sales tax agreement, will be extended an additional 20 years through 2047. Once this agreement here has been approved by, I believe it's been approved by the school system already and approved by the county, it'll go before the city, and then it'll go to the BZA. And at that point, the agreement allows the county, once Pope School opens, to have a second traffic study done based on the traffic data for the school once it's open, and the improvements that are done will be based on the recommendations in that new traffic study that the county will have done. Does anybody have any questions about anything in the agreement?
Commissioner Black.
Now, we are considered the developer, correct?
That's correct. The county is considered the developer. A lot of this is the standard language that would be in a off-site development agreement if a commercial developer was coming in and put in a new business and it required road improvements. So the county's acting as the developer in this situation here.
Commissioner Godwin, I thought I saw you stand, I'm sorry.
I was ready to make a motion.
Okay,
I'd like to make a motion to move to, for consideration if possible, acceptance of post-school off-site improvement agreement with the city of Jackson and Jackson-Madison County School System.
have a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second. Roll call. Vote is closed. Twenty yes, 1 no. Resolution passes. Consideration and possible acceptance of development agreement with Jackson-Madison County School System in regard to Pope off-site improvements. Jay, would you like to discuss this one?
This is a secondary agreement between the school system and the county. This agreement just clarifies and memorializes that the county is the developer, not the school system. So the county will be responsible for the road improvements. I think the school system is named as the co-developer in the agreement, and the reason for that was because they are a party to that 2017 sales tax agreement. This development agreement states that the county will handle all of the road work, not the school system. And in exchange, the school system, once the road improvements are accepted by the city, will also approve a separate agreement extending that 2017 sales tax agreement for 20 years. You might have any questions?
This is a committee recommendation, correct?
It is.
I'd just like to make a statement on this. You know, this has been a hard-fought battle. That agreement, that referendum that was voted on back in 1990 or 91 was between the city and the county. That 1.25 sales tax was to go 100% to the school system. The contract you mentioned that we negotiated in the last hour, the city took back their $12 million, claiming that the contract was null and void because they found some technicalities. There was no beginning and no ending of that contract. So we had no other option to do what we did at this particular time, because that contract was up in 2027, which they didn't have to renew it. So we got a 20-year extension, so that's a bitter, it's a bitter pill for me to take, for us to handle it that way, but we really have no choice.
I agree, Commissioner Deaton, but like I said, the whole entire community wins, because when the school system wins, that community is gonna win out there by the improvements we make, and it's gonna be a good thing going forward, so. Roll call to approve.
Budget committee, right?
It's a committee recommendation, right?
It was. Vote is closed. Unanimous, motion passes. Dr. King, we didn't talk about it, but would you like to say anything?
Other than I appreciate the support you all get to the system.
I know you're glad you're going to be able to get Pope open now.
Absolutely.
All right, reports from county officials, standing and special committees, any old business and action thereof by the board. Commissioner
Mr. Chairman, the property committee met, and this body approved back in November, October, somewhere in that area, timeframe, $217,000 for a demolition project at the old East Bluff School. And I informed the commission back in January that we had to abandon that existing bid process due to, it was a problematic issue. We are ready to move forward with that again. We have that $217,000 that's still approved out there. We have a couple of items that have to be done before demolition can begin. One of them is an asbestos study, and the other one is moving the fire alarm. We have to have an operational fire alarm in what's remaining of that building at all times. So I've come before the body for asking for $39,350 of that $217 that's already been approved, be approved to spend ahead of the demolition.
It's a committee recommendation. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other reports? I'm sorry. Commissioner Bond.
The Personnel Committee met on January 21st and March 3rd. We reviewed and to adopt 3 personnel policies and make a recommendation for a company to complete the compensation study, but we'll take those up later in the agenda.
Thank you. Commissioner Wall.
Excess resales met several times, many times as a matter of fact. We're finally able to get started on trying to get rid of some of our properties, get those back on the tax rolls. And that process actually starts today at 1 o'clock. We're using the GovEase platform. I'd certainly like to thank IT and Nick for his work with the committee to be able to get that going, get that started. Again, that's going to start today at 1 o'clock. That's just a point of information. Also, I have a property, 190 Bemis Cemetery Road. An offer was made of $4,469.68 and was received. It's a committee recommendation to accept.
It's a committee recommendation. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Bryant.
Yes, sir. I wanted to discuss the audit committee's meetings. We've had 3 for the audit that ended in June 30th, 2024. And our goals were to understand what happened and to mitigate them in the future. In addition, the finance director and I and the internal auditor met with 4 of the auditors from the state comptroller's office who conducted our audit. We reviewed the findings under the knowledge that both the school system and the county finance department did incur personnel changes at the management level that might have affected our year-end review. Our last audit committee we held to discuss our way forward. Our management team is aware of the oversight requirements needed in the future, including following our own policies and better review processes. We're set to meet again on May 20th as a follow-up. We may not get it perfect this year, but we expect improvement. And I want to thank the committee, Michelle, Dr. King and his financial management team, and our internal auditor, Mike Perry, for their work. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Commissioner
Insurance committee met in the past month, and our fund is basically depleted for all practical purposes. Last year, insurance was pretty rough. You spent all of our money, and it's all gone. We took in, we spent $1 million more than we took in, actually, so that fund was basically depleted. We've got like $900,000 in reserve that we can pull from. We spent $225 of that, I believe. And I've asked Mr. Mays, our consultant, to come. Mr. Smith couldn't be here today, to kind of give us an overview of some past history. And we've reached a point where we have to deal with this. We're going to have to put more money in this fund in the coming budget year. And I want him to give us an overview of where we've been and where we're going with this. And kind of keep everybody up to date on our insurance program that we have. Mr. Mays, you want to come up front?
Yeah. Hey, good morning, everybody. Jay Mays with Canopy Nation. Mr. Deaton asked us to come up here and just give a brief overview of where we are. We work very closely with Terica and her team on a day-in, day-out basis. Just for a little bit of context, from the 2014 plan year through 2023, so that's a 10-year period, when we look at the claim expenditure and then the revenue, what the county contributes along with the employees, that was pretty constant, almost exact. I think there was a $450,000 difference, which over a 10-year period, that's to be expected one way or the other. As Mr. Deaton said, last year, we were about $975,000 shortfall. And then when we look at the 24, so beginning in July of 24 through February of 25, currently we're at about a $1.3 million deficit. So claims have increased fairly dramatically. I was talking to Terica. Price Waterhouse puts out an annual trend survey every year. They expected 2025 to be their highest trend in medical trend increase, cost increase since 2010. So we are seeing that really across our entire block of business. We work with about 185 different companies ranging in all sizes. We are seeing increased claims on a year-in, year-out basis. I do have some information. I'll leave a couple copies with Terica, and then I'll make sure she has an available email as well.
Anybody have any questions for him?
Yes. The claims, you're looking at catastrophic illnesses or what?
About 51% of our claims for this past year were claims that were over $50,000. I think there were around 39 or 40 of those. So,
what do we think that's driving that? I know there's an increased cost in healthcare, but what else?
Specialty pharmacy is really one key component that's driving overall cost right now. I mean, just drugs like Stelara, things like that. I mean, the cost on those are dramatically more expensive.
What was our percentage? You got our percentage on prescription cost overall?
I don't, I just have the total, but I can get it.
But it was high.
Yeah, I can verify that.
It was high. What this means for us is in our coming budget year, I think right now the county is basically contributing like $600 for the individual. There's no doubt we're going to raise that to a number that's sufficient. And the employee most likely will have to participate in this in some manner, whether it's I think as far as our pay increases would be, we'd have to consider what that would be compared to what the county would contribute for insurance. But that recommendation will come out of our next meeting.
Yeah, one thing also to note, we went through a bid process last year with Terica. We did find that Blue Cross did provide the best overall discounts. And again, the reinsurance. So, and if that's something that we need to take a look at again this year, we certainly can consider that.
I was standing when Commissioner Dean got up, and that's what I was going to ask. What are some of the plans that we're going to put in place in order to not spend as much?
From a county perspective?
So recently, during the last meeting, we don't have the contract on it yet. The committee voted to implement a different prescription plan that would save us about $21,000, I believe, a year, but we haven't received that actual contract for this committee, for the full CLB to vote on. So that is one plan change that will be implemented July 1. As he said, we just entered into this new agreement. It locks the price for 3 years, but it is a year-to-year arrangement. So the committee will be, advised on that. Any cost-saving measures we can implement during that time, we can be reviewed.
Yeah, and in the West Tennessee area, Blue Cross does have the best discounts. That's really what you want to pay attention to, because, okay, let's just say the admin fee is $3,000 less with another carrier, but their claim discounts are 4 or 5% below what Blue Cross is, so they're actually spending more money. So I think we're achieving about a 67% discount guarantee with Blue Cross.
Thank you, Mr. Mason.
Any other reports? Any amendments, transfers to the general fund, school department, capital projects, highway department, debt service, juvenile court services, budgets, year 24-25? Commissioner Alexander.
All right, strap in. This is going to be a long one. We got several. First, I'm going to have 7 that are coming from February from the school system. Those won't be on the board. I don't think have you got one for the board on that? The old ones. First is 141 capital outlay, $40,000. This is it's receiving grant money.
Can we take these together?
Somebody will make a motion with your can.
Can I get a motion to?
Motion to take all these from JMCSS together.
First and second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Mr. Alexander.
All right, you heard the 40,000 one, right? Special education program, 100,000. This is, again, grant money. Innovative school model, $2,924,899.99. This is carryover from fiscal year 24. Special education, $4,143. This is a donation given to the special education department at the end of fiscal year 24. Monies were never expended, so they were needed to be carried over to this budget year. SSIG 2.0, this is a state improvement grant, $2,040,069.51. This is an improvement grant for Alexander, Isaac Lane, Lincoln, JCM, JCT, and Northside. Next one is CCEIS. This is a comprehensive coordinated early intervening services, intervention, and disciplinary behavioral sciences grant, $79,019.25. Last one, $270,000, Education Foundation. This is a contribution from the Education Foundation that will cover expenses for the following areas: Leap Up for Literacy at Liberty Tech, STAR Grants, and Parental Involvement.
Committee recommendation, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes.
I will have some late arriving amendments from the school system at the end of this, but we'll have to bring those forward, okay? Moving on to the county side, these 3 come out of fund balance. Trustee's office, $6,599.65. This is the 2023 TIF 2 payments.
Committee recommendation, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Next one's trustee's office, $121,820.59. This is the 2023 TIF 1 payments.
Committee recommendation, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Highway, $35,000. This is the final roadside spring bill for fiscal year 24. It was not received until this year.
Committee recommendation, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to take everything under grants, new funds, and one time.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a first and a second. All those in favor of taking them all at one time say aye. Aye. All opposed? Commissioner Alexander.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bryant. Election, $52,060 in capital, this money from the state to upgrade early voting tabulators. Sheriff's Department, $4,008, collaborative crisis grant, this is no effect on MOE. Next is recreation, $12,507. This is money from Christmas light sponsorship and gate fees to cover expenditures through June 30 of 2025. Next is EMA, $103,596.24. Reimbursement from the Madison County Fire Department flooding deployment to New Mexico. Fire Department, $18,041, sale of vehicles. Fire Department, $1,400, reimbursement for live fire training. Fire Department, $200, reimbursement for live fire training. Fire Department, $200, reimbursement for live fire training. Fire Department, $5,305.47, reimbursement for live fire training and overpayment. Fire Department, $4,211.63, reimbursement for firefighters working at the airport, August to November. $1,200, Fire Department, reimbursement for live fire training. Fire Department, $33,950, grant for turnout gear. Fire Department, $7,600, proceeds from sale of vehicles. Fire Department, $1,700, reimbursement for live fire training. Health Department, $31,224, contract was increased to $31,224. Highway Department, $115,517.67, reimbursement from airport for parking lot expansion. Sheriff's Department, $16,000, SRO training pay received from state of Tennessee. Sheriff's Department, $33,333.32, reimbursement from three-way for patrol salaries. Sheriff's Department, $69,152.18, reimbursement for overtime and extra duty. Sheriff's Department, $12,475, proceeds from the sale of vehicles. Sheriff's Department, $19,250.50, insurance recovery for total loss of a vehicle. JCS, $99,510, adding opioid initiative contributions to budget. General Sessions Division 2, $5,000, aligning the access and visitation grant with the budget. General Sessions Division 2, $15,000, aligning a PEMF grant with the budget. Finance, $1,373,594, grant to build the EMS facility near the airport.
These are all committee recommendations. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Commissioner?
The $19,000 loss of vehicle, is the sheriff here? I just want to know what.
Yeah, that's just, I think that particular unit was struck by another vehicle, and it's just insurance recovery, where they reimburse us for the value of the vehicle.
Thank
you. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, all of them pass.
The following are transfers. Circuit Court Clerk, $7,000, moving money from the regular deputy line item to debt collection deputy line items.
Make a motion, we take all these one time.
Have a motion, take them all at one time.
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Watson. Moving on to IT, $3,000, moving funds from data processing services to cover overages and data processing supplies. Health Department, $2,400, aligning the year-end estimates. Health Department, $8,000, aligning to year-end estimates. Health Department, $28,000, special purpose, aligning to year-end estimates. Health Department, $23,800, special purpose, aligning to year-end estimates. Health Department, $3,000, special purpose, aligning to year-end estimates. Sheriff's Department, $179,800, moving funds from the penal farm to the jail. Sheriff's Department, $11,900, moving funds from penal farm to the jail. Sheriff's Department, $323,000, moving money from salaries to various line items within the jail. And Sheriff's Department, $35,000, moving money from data processing to uniforms.
These are all committee recommendations. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Pass.
The last two, or these two are state mandated reserves, one for the county clerk's office, the other for recovery court. County clerk, $11,000, replacing 3 PCs and 2 desks and chairs.
It's committee recommendation. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Next one's recovery court, $10,000, additional funds needed for the expansion project.
Committee recommendation. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Next two are in-house amendments. Moves $1,800 from utilities to rentals in the drug court.
It's committee recommendation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Pass.
And the one y'all been waiting on, the last one, is building department for $2,023.96 from other contracted to data processing.
It's committee recommendation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Pass.
Mr. Chairman, I do have some late arrivals that these are not committee approved. They were only received last week after the budget committee had met. To take those up, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give you a total count here.
Motion to suspend the rules.
I have a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Second. All those in favor of suspending the rules say aye. Aye. All opposed?
These do not have committee approval, so here we go. 141, Board of Education, $2,000. This is a line item transfer needed for year-end cleanup for personnel benefits line items.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Early childhood education, $149,000. It's just a line item transfer needed for year-end cleanups.
So moved.
Motion to approve, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next one's health services, $5,200, line item transfer needed for year-end cleanup for personnel benefits.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next is maintenance of plant, $650,400, allocation of new revenue to cover expenditure and personnel items that were under budgeted.
So moved.
Have a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes.
Next is operation of plant, $124,750, line item transfer needed for year-end cleanup for personnel benefits.
Need a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Have a motion. Second.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Next is regular instruction, $703,500, line item transfer needed for year-end cleanup for personnel and benefit line items.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a first and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes.
Next is transportation, $54,610, line item transfer needed for year-end cleanup for personnel benefits.
So moved.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Next is vocational education program, $200, again, line item transfer needed for year-end cleanup.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Next is capital, $154,507, allocation of new revenue to add additional funds and capital, other contracted services line item.
So moved.
Have a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes.
Next is other student support, $57,322.82. Removing budget from units that was entered as a 141, however, it is a 142 grant.
Motion to approve.
Motion?
Second.
A second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Last one, IDEA Partnership Preschool, $80,000. This is correcting a budget item that was entered twice into the meter system.
Motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. And that completes the Budget Committee's report.
Amen.
Yay.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Hall.
we've had a couple of meetings with school board members and Superintendent Walls about discussion on getting some access into East Elementary. Traffic has been bad out there for years. So sitting down with them, we came with an idea, met with some of the engineers, A2H. We asked them to give us a price on doing a survey out there on that property, along with Nova, which is close out there. They have a traffic problem as well. And so it came up that the price would be $18,000 to do this survey. Our hope is that we can get this passed and get this work started as soon as we can find out what it's going to cost and walk that process and hopefully have this completed by the school year that's coming up. So what we need to do is suspend the rules and have a vote on this.
Do I have a motion to suspend the rules?
I'll make a second. I'll second.
I have a first and second to suspend the rules. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Rules are suspended. We're open for discussion. Commissioner Godwin.
I like to say, I was born in Oakville. I went to East, when it was East High School. All my brothers and sisters went. And that problem has been a problem ever since we created elementary school. And, you know, I go out there to see my kids. I'm a counselor. And if I go out there, I can't get out there after 12:30 because this car is so far down the road that I have to go around the other side. There's no room. So I just, this is a great idea. I support this, even though, you know, I have differences in the way it was done. But I'm not going to talk about that because the superintendent said he wants what's best for the kids. And we all want what's best for the kids. And right now, I think what's best is to come up with a traffic study. I support it. Thank you.
Commissioner Wall.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Yeah, I too stand up to support this resolution and would hope everybody would support this unanimously because I know that District 10, this is in District 10, Commissioner Hall and the other commissioners over there, yourself, Mr. Chairman, and Commissioner Watson, have to be getting a lot of calls on this because I know I have, and I'm not even in that district. And I can tell you from a safety perspective, it is much needed. We need to support this and pass this as quickly as we possibly can and get to work on it as quickly as we possibly can.
All right, rules suspended. Commissioner Hall, if you would make a motion to approve the $18,000 for the school system to conduct this traffic study.
So that's the motion I'd like to make.
I like the second.
We have a first and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, this is not only for the students, but this is a real safety issue for the community out there. Ashport Road is a highly traveled area. All right. Commissioner Alexander, is there anything else? Commissioner Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else we need to?
Nope.
Commissioner Bond?
All right, the Personnel Committee met on January 21st, and we reviewed bids for our compensation study. There were 10 bids submitted. Only 9 of those met the qualifications. Deputy Mayor Smith reviewed each bid, and the committee had asked to check references on 3 of those. And based on the cost and the positive recommendations and the proposed method of work, the Personnel Committee recommends Evergreen Solutions, LLC, to complete the compensation study for Madison County. The proposed contract's in your packet, It's also on the screen. The cost was $38,500. The length that they expected to take is 5 months. We would not expect them to start until late summer, early fall, and we're open for questions if anybody has any.
This is a committee recommendation. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes. Thank you very much. Consideration and possible acceptance of resolution approving contract with, oh, that's Evergreen. We got that out of the way.
Road list.
Consideration and possible acceptance of the 2025 Madison County Road List.
Motion we accept.
Have a motion to accept. Do I have a second? Second. This is committee recommendation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Road list passed. Consideration and possible acceptance of resolution adopting official code relative to Madison County stormwater management.
Make a motion we accept it.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Jay, do you want to discuss this just real quick?
I can. The Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, they oversee the counties and municipalities that meet a certain population level are required to have a code in place for stormwater drainage in order to enforce the federal Clean Water Act and the Water Quality Act. And Madison County has a code for stormwater drainage. It was adopted back in 2005, so it's been 20 years since a new code was adopted. This just gives our building department the power to enforce these regulations regarding stormwater drainage. It's pretty lengthy. If anybody has any questions, I'll do my best to answer. I know Building Commissioner Clark is here, and he might be better suited to answer some questions than I would be, but I'll give it a shot if anybody does have any questions about any of the code.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Code passes. Consideration and possible acceptance of resolution to add holiday pay to county employee handbook.
Yeah, so when the Personnel Committee met on January 21st and March 3rd, we reviewed the holiday pay policy. And this was previously passed in 2021, March 15th, but it was never actually put in the handbook. So a copy of the policy is included in your packet. Written draft has been recommended by adoption by the Personnel Committee.
So there's really no change to what we're doing. We're just adding it to the handbook.
Should have already been in the handbook.
This is committee recommendation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes. Consideration and possible acceptance of resolution adopting sick leave donation policy.
Yeah, so when the Personnel Committee met on March 3rd to adopt the sick leave donation policy, the policy is being implemented to put parameters around sick leave donation among employees who are in need due to long-term injury or illness. So a copy of the policy is in your packet on the screen, and it's recommended to be adopted by the Personnel Committee.
Committee recommendation, any discussion? Commissioner Black.
Understand, could you give me that person who wants to donate has to have keep a minimum, how many sick leave hours?
Yes.
They must maintain a minimum of 80 hours, so about 2 weeks of leave to be able to donate.
Any other discussion? Committee recommendation, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Consideration and possible acceptance of resolution defining a Madison County retiree.
Yeah, all right, last one. Well, Personnel Committee met in January to define what a Madison County retiree is. The definition's been implemented to define who qualifies as a retiree, and a copy's in your packet on the screen.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes. Consideration and possible acceptance of amended lease agreement for Savannah Williamson Park. Jay, would you like to discuss this? Sure. Real quick.
Last fall, I believe, the commission approved a lease agreement for Savannah Williamson Park. If y'all recall, this is a county park where it was discovered that we didn't have a lease agreement with the owners of the property. Well, we had sent the lease that was approved by the county to the family. The family recently sent some amendments that they wanted to add to the lease. Those amendments are, they wanted the property to be exempt from county property tax, which, in my understanding, I think it already was exempt. I don't see, I checked with the trustee, I don't think they had ever received a tax bill on that property. And their second request was that if at the end of the 30-year lease that it wasn't renewed, that the county would be responsible for removing all of the equipment, fixtures, that sort of thing from the property and returning it back to its original state within 30 days. So those are the two changes from what was approved previously.
Chairman Taylor, I believe this was a property committee recommendation.
It was.
Committee recommendation, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? I'm sorry, Commissioner Ellison.
No, it's not pertaining to this.
Okay. Motion passes. Yes, sir.
Yes, I would like for, Mr. Martin, if you would, to give us an update on that Tally Farm Park, in West part of the county.
Tally Farms, we awarded the engineering contract for design of the park about 3 weeks ago. Waiting on the playground bid to be put out. Also working on the restroom pavilion bids. And then once we get the design and TDEC approval of all the designs, hopefully we can break ground before the end of spring.
Well, the last time you told me, or told us, you were going to break ground in February if the weather was feasible. The reason I asked the question is I was by there the other day, and the farmers done sprayed, they're getting ready to plant a crop there. If that happened, I feel like there will be probable cause for you to be terminated and neglected to do your
He's
job.
already planted his crop, and the gentleman I've talked to understands that we're doing only the corner, and the rest of it remains for him to farm. We've been in contact on that.
All right, thank you.
Number 17, and all these people have agreed to be reappointed if we choose to do so. Appointment of one member to the Vicious Dog Panel by the CLB, 3-year term, veteran Dr. Ellen Deming, incumbent.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the incumbent.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor of Dr. Deming, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes. Appointment of county attorney by CLB, 2-year term, Jay Bush, incumbent.
I make a motion that we reappoint Jay Bush.
Second.
Have a first and a second. All those, I'm sorry.
I want to ask something
Okay.
before we vote. I would like to discuss salary. Did we discuss this after we voted, before we voted? Because last time we talked about attorney, and I do support him being, re-elected, reappointed. But we had a long, lengthy discussion about salary. When did we discuss that? After when did we discuss that? I just want to know, what is the salary? Is it going to be, last time, is it going to be in writing or what? Are we going to offer him a contract or what?
The salary is discussed during the budget, so it's set up until July 1 right now, and it'll be discussed in the budget along with everybody else, but
Could you tell me what the salary is now then?
the county attorney is paid on an hourly basis.
And how much is that? Can I talk to you about it?
Absolutely. I'm paid $225 per hour, and I have an earned retainer of $10,000 per month. That's what was approved 2 years ago by the budget committee, and it's remained the same. So for the last 2 fiscal years, that's been the earned retainer that I've received. And I bill off of that retainer at that hourly rate, which is the same rate as the previous county attorney.
So we can't up it if we want. Okay. Thank you.
We'll be starting budget meetings pretty soon, and I encourage any of you that want to be a part of it to come. Do what? We need to vote.
No, Commissioner Deaton.
Yes, Commissioner Deaton.
I just want to say that Jay has done an outstanding job as attorneys go. I love attorneys. Jay's done an outstanding job in the county. He's always available. He responds quickly, and Jay, we appreciate you, what you've done over the years.
Appreciate
You show a great dedication to Madison County and the people of the community. Thank you, man.
Had a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Appointment of 2 members to the Conservation Board by CLB, 5-year term. Lila Montgomery and Lee Yandel, incumbents.
I'll make the motion to reappoint Lala and Lee Yandel.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, reappointed. Appointment of 2 liaisons to the Conservation Board by CLB, 1-year term, Luther Mercer and Richard Watson, incumbents.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint these 2 incumbents, Commissioner Mercer and Commissioner Watson.
I say.
Have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Need a motion to elect notary publics. Have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Approved. Any and all matters related to or connected with matters set forth in terms 1 through 21. Mr. Mayor.
Just inform, Arts Council, Jackson Arts Council is here. I don't know.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No worries, I just didn't know if you wanted them to present now.
I do. Come on up. Hey, we're gonna hear from the Jackson Arts Council right now. I apologize.
That's okay.
You contacted me, I think it was back in February, and I'm so sorry.
Good morning, everybody. I just really wanted to come and introduce myself to everybody today so that you could see the newest face with the Jackson Arts Council. I'm Dr. Delita Johnson, and I'm the Executive Director for the Jackson Arts Council. I also am hoping that we will get either individual support or collective support from you all this year. I wanted to share a few of our accomplishments for FY25. And I want you all to also to know that the arts are important to our community. Jackson-Madison County, we are a team, we are a unit. We delivered $2.2 million in event-related spending in Jackson-Madison County, in which we are thrilled about. I want to share some more numbers with you all really, really quick, because I know you're probably ready to get out of here. But thank you for those who are supporting us individually. We appreciate it. We've given away several grants to our artists this year. The ABC grant, which is Arts Builds Communities, we've granted $21,650 to Madison County residents, to McNairy County residents, to Chester County, Hardin County, and Decatur. We serve 8 counties. We've given grant money to Ballet Arts, Renaissance on Main, Freed-Hardeman University, Rivertime Players, the Griot Collective of West Tennessee, the Jazz Foundation of West Tennessee, the Neds, and Arts in McNairy. We're super excited about our Jackson Arts grant, which totals $28,125. We've distributed funds to 8, Jackson-Madison County School System, Jackson Choral Society, Jackson Theater Guild, Jackson Symphony Association, Jackson Downtown Development Company, Jackson International Food and Arts Festival, Ballet Arts, Hub City Productions. We also started a new grant for individual arts this year. And again, we're super excited about what we're doing at the Jackson Arts Council. We distributed 6 grants to 6 individual artists in our county. Alice Hardin was one. Bill Marable, some of these names you may be familiar with. Noah Stewart, Belinda Patterson, Stephanie Wilburn, and Hattie Marshall Duncan. And finally, and I'll take my seat, I brought an art box with me today so that you can all see one of the programs that we do offer at the Jackson Arts Council. It's one that is close to my heart. We use these art boxes for art therapy. They are distributed to students in Jackson-Madison County. Hope is one of our big distributors. What they do is the counselors, professional counselors will use these. What's inside, there's scissors, there's a bunch of arts supplies inside of these boxes, and we use them again for arts therapy, for children who are dealing with emotional distress, stress, emotional trauma. These are important to our students. And so I want to give you some numbers on these. In FY23, the total cost for this program was $14,151. In FY24, we spent $2,042, and in FY25, $6,304. We need the support of the citizens here in Jackson-Madison County. We cannot do this without you. It costs us $15 per box to have these delivered to our students. This is one program that I do not want to see stop.
How many boxes do you use?
How many? We've distributed since the inception of the program, 1,500 boxes. In the fall, we distributed almost 500 boxes to individual schools. And so again, this is an important project. What we do here is important. The arts are important. And I hope that you are able to see that. And that's one reason why I wanted to be here today. We need your support. Once again, we cannot do this without you. So that's my spiel for today. Thank you for having me. Thank you for adding me to the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else? Have a motion to adjourn? Second. All those in favor say aye, adjourn.